Yeah, I guess this is what it's like to play a national championship team. I mean, we seen them last year, and I feel, UConn looks even better than they did last year, as good as they were. And it's always great to have that opportunity to play a team that level. It really shows, how hard they work and get after it, and that's why they're so good year in and year out.
Open up for questions.
Coach, you play a team like UConn, they come in as advertised, the number one team in the country. You play people like this in South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Duke, to get ready for the conference season. What do you get out of it?
Yeah, we really do. And the physicality that they play with and how hard they play in the energy, it really shows our girls, okay, this is what we have to work on to get better to win the conference. And games like that prepare us for, for once we get to conference play.
Coach, they came out full court pressing immediately. How much do you think that affected y'all early on in the first half?
It did. I'm going to be honest. I mean, we played some great teams this year, like UCLA being one, but the defensive pressure against UConn, it's a whole nother level, and it's sort of hard to simulate that until you actually play against it. But, I thought we settled in and did a decent job after we got used to it a little bit.
Coach, with that pressure, how do you prepare for that going into a game like this?
That's what I'm saying. It's tough because it's hard to simulate it, even with male practice players, just explaining to you girls how hard they play. And you could tell them that, but until you're actually playing against them and when you realize, so we do the best we can with our male practice players to get them prepared. And like I said, even though we played some great teams this year, we haven't played anybody who's defended like that.
And we noticed we were missing Eden Battle.
Yeah. She'll be back. Yeah.
This game concludes your guys' current home-and-home series with UConn. But just how important was it to continue on this series, to restart this past home-and-home, and what are your favorite things about the series and its history?
Of the what? I'm sorry.
Of the series in general and its history.
Oh, yeah. And Coach Jose, we've always scheduled like this. He's always scheduled like this. And to bring in a team of that caliber to even do a home and home, like I said before, is very special, and him and Gino and Jose have been close and they've developed that. Hopefully that's something we can, continue to do down the road, because it's just special to have a team like that come to your home court.
Coach, for lack of a better word, is that the most stifling defense you've seen all year?
Oh, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Their defense, with their getting in passing lanes and switching and denying and their length and their size, gave us trouble, especially the first half. I thought the second half we handled it a little bit better. But you know what? That's what they do. That's why they're a great team.
Coach, how was it having Coach Fernandez back in the building today?
It's always nice to see Coach. I still talk to him a lot on the phone, so we're still in touch all the time. But it's nice when I get to be able to see him again in person.
Coach, when you show that film, you just go to your girls, this is where we want to get to. We want to be able to play this hard, this physical, and just get after people.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is. And then sometimes I think it takes a new team, especially we have 8 new players, and I'm sure nobody other than our veterans had played against a team like UConn in all their previous years at their other schools. And I think this really sets a bar to show, you want to get to these levels, even as an individual player. This is how hard they go. This is what they do in and day out. And, that's why they've won so many national championships.
Coach, what would you say the biggest struggle was tonight for the team?
I think it was getting open, the physicality of it in our guards, not working as hard as we could to get open. Like I said, it's hard to sort of simulate that until they feel it. And I thought after halftime it got better, but I think they just sort of punched us in the mouth when we first got out there. I'm going to be honest with you.
Coach, you've been here for years. You've seen UConn over the years. They don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, they do.
Is that how important that culture is and how you want to get this culture to?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in the country sort of thrives to be like that. And you're right. He has players coming off the bench for him now who started on his national championship team. Because there's just other players that they can bring in now with the transfer portal and stuff like that. So he'll reload every year. But everybody wants to go there because he's a great coach and he does a great job and he gets people drafted and, you know, that's the place to be right now.
We have one more in the back here.
Coach, looking ahead at Education Day, can you talk about the excitement of having 2,000
Whew.
people in the building?
Yeah, last year, our Education Day, we had, I think, over 9,600 people and screaming loud kids. But, you know, it's a wonderful atmosphere, though, and it's great for our players. So they're excited, you know. I know we've been sort of going. We just gotta get through, and that'll be an early game. But I think having all those kids there will really help motivate us and make it exciting.
Coach, you talked about how when you settled in more, y'all looked better. What did you like in the second half from your team? Y'all did look a lot better in the second half.
You know, I thought Lore did much better in the second half. I thought she was rolling more to the basket and demanding the ball, so gave her a couple easy looks there. And, you know, I thought one of our freshmen, Elena, I thought came off the bench and did a good job. You know, was playing really hard in defending and knocked down a couple shots. So I was impressed with them. And Carla Brito always plays hard. You know, she's just one of those special players. You know, she maybe everything doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but we're not the team we are without her.
Coach, coaching 101, you can't let one loss become two. How do you make sure this doesn't fall over into Houston Christian?
Oh, yeah, I know. But you know what? We have a great locker room and a great culture, and I really feel that our girls get it. Like, they'll stick together and they'll be like, okay, they have that next game mentality because they know the big picture is about conference and winning that conference title. So they're pretty good when it comes to handling stuff like this, I feel.